You wake up at 3:47 a.m. Not because your alarm went off, because your body just knows. After enough weeks of this, it stops needing an alarm. You lie there in the dark for a second, staring at the ceiling, and somewhere in the back of your head, a little voice says, "Do you really have to do this today?" You do. So you get up. This is a story about what it actually feels like to work inside one of the biggest machines ever built by human beings. Not a metaphor, a literal machine, conveyors, scanners, robots, timers, and somewhere inside all of that, you, a person, trying to keep up. I'm going to take you through a full shift inside an Amazon warehouse, every hour, every feeling. The parts they don't put in the job listing, and the parts that will genuinely surprise you. By the end of this, you're going to understand something about modern work that most people never think about until they're living it. Let's go. It's 4:15 a.m., and you're in the parking lot. The building in front of you is enormous, like actually enormous, in a way that's hard to explain until you're standing next to it. It doesn't look like a building. It looks like a city block that someone put a roof on. The lights inside are so bright you can see them bleeding through the loading dock doors from where you're standing. You badge in, a little beep, the door opens, and the noise hits you first. It's not loud like a concert. It's loud like a machine that never stops. A constant low roar of conveyor belts, beeping scanners, forklifts reversing, and tens of thousands of products moving from one place to another every single second of every single day. Even at 4 in the morning, even on holidays, the building does not sleep. You find your station. Today, you're picking, which means you're going to spend the next 10 hours walking through rows of shelves called pods, scanning items, and placing them into yellow bins that move down a belt. Sounds simple, and it is simple. That's kind of the point. But here's what the simplicity costs you. The scanner in your hand tells you exactly where to go. Pod J7, shelf 3, item, blue water bottle, 24 ounce. You scan it, you place it, and before you've even taken a breath, the scanner beeps again. Pod J9, shelf 6, item, phone case, clear, iPhone 14. You walk, you scan, you place. Walk, scan, place. The scanner is not waiting for you to be ready. It does not know you haven't had enough coffee. It does not care that your feet already hurt and your shift started 11 minutes ago. It just beeps, and you go. There's a number on the scanner, your rate. It tracks how many items you pick per hour. And at Amazon, that number is not just a suggestion. There's a target. And if you fall below that target too many times, that gets noticed. Not by a person necessarily, by the system. The system notices everything. Your target today is around 300 to 400 units per hour, depending on the facility and the time of year. During peak, which is the weeks around the holidays, that number goes up. Right now, it's September. Not peak yet, but you can already feel the pressure building in the air, like a change of weather. You check your rate. You need to move faster. By 6 a.m., your body has settled into something that isn't quite a rhythm, but isn't chaos either. You've stopped thinking consciously about what you're doing. Your feet go where the scanner says. Your hand reaches, grabs, scans, drops. Reaches, grabs, scans, drops. You are a part of the machine now. Not in a bad way necessarily, just in a factual way. You pass the same person 4 times in 1 hour. Neither of you says anything. Not because you're unfriendly, because there's no time, and also because you're both wearing earbuds. Music is the thing that gets most people through. Some people listen to podcasts. One guy on your floor listens to audiobooks. He told you he finished 6 books last month. You do the math in your head. 10 hours a day, 5 days a week. Yeah, you could finish 6 books too. Your feet hurt. This is the thing that nobody really prepares you for. You knew the job was physical. You knew you'd be walking. What you didn't know is that you'd be walking on concrete for 10 hours straight, with almost no variation in surface, which does something specific and unkind to your joints that regular walking doesn't do. By the end of your first week, you bought the most expensive insoles you could find. By the end of your first month, you had a whole new relationship with the concept of shoes. 7:30 a.m. Your first break. 30 minutes. You have to walk to the break room first, which takes about 5 minutes each way if you're moving fast. So really, you have 20 minutes. You sit down, you eat whatever you brought. Today it's a sandwich and a bag of chips. And you stare at your phone or you stare at the wall. Some people use this time to talk. Some people close their eyes. You've seen someone be asleep within 60 seconds of sitting down. Like properly asleep. Head back, mouth open, gone. The break room smells like microwave meals and coffee. There's a TV on the wall playing something nobody is really watching. There are motivational posters, an employee of the month board, a whiteboard that says safety first in big red letters. You drink water. Amazon is serious about hydration, not out of kindness necessarily, but because dehydration leads to injuries, and injuries cost money. There are water stations everywhere. There are reminders to drink water. You drink the water. Break ends. You go back. By 9 a.m., you've walked roughly 8 miles. Your phone tells you this, which feels insane. 8 miles, and you've barely moved. You've been inside the same building this entire time, walking in tight loops between shelves that are taller than you, under lights that don't change no matter what time it is. There is no natural light in here. There are no windows. You could genuinely lose track of whether it's morning or night if you didn't check your phone. There's a word people use for this: sensory monotony. When everything around you is the same all the time, your brain starts to go somewhere else. You start thinking about things you haven't thought about in years. Old memories show up for no reason. You'll be reaching for a bottle of conditioner on shelf 4, and suddenly you'll remember a road trip you took when you were 16, just randomly, because your hands are busy, but your mind has nothing to grab onto. Some people find this meditative. Some people find it unbearable. Most people find it somewhere in between, depending on the day. Lunchtime. You have 30 minutes again. Same math as before. Same break room. Different smell today because someone heated up fish and whoever it was left the room before anyone could give them a look. You sit with a couple of people you've gotten to know over the past few weeks. There's a woman named something like Diane who's been here 3 years and knows everything. Which managers to avoid, which stations are less punishing on your body, which shifts have slightly better vibes. She talks fast and laughs easily and tells you she's saving up to start a dog grooming business. You believe her. You can see it happening. There's also a younger guy who's maybe 19 who did this job for 2 months, quit, came back, and says he's going to quit again by November. He says this every lunch. Nobody argues with him about it. You eat. You go back. It's 2 p.m. This is the hour. Anyone who has worked a long physical shift knows that there is always 1 hour, one specific window of time where everything in your body and mind just hits the wall at once, where the fatigue stops being background noise and becomes the main event, where every step is a small decision, where you are genuinely negotiating with yourself to keep going. For you, it's 2 p.m. Your rate has slipped. You know it has. The scanner knows it has. You're at 261 and you need 300. Your feet feel like they've been filled with sand. Your lower back is doing this thing where it's not quite pain, but it's aggressively reminding you that it exists. Your eyes are tired in a way that sleep doesn't fully fix anymore. And you're not even close to done. You have 2 more hours left. Here's the thing nobody tells you about this moment. And this is actually the most important part of this whole story. It's not physical willpower that gets you through it. It's something smaller than that. It's the next task. You don't think about 2 more hours, you think in beeps. And somehow, and this genuinely surprises you every single time, the clock moves. Not fast, but it moves. And before you've really registered it, someone near you says, 15 minutes. And you look up, and you look at the clock, and there it is. 3:45 p.m. 15 minutes left. Something happens to your body when you see that. Some chemical that your brain releases when a finish line appears. Because now you're not tired. Now you're almost running.
Now your rate is back up. Your steps are faster. Your hands are quicker. Because now you know exactly where the end is. The scanner beeps, and you go.
4 p.m. Badge out. A little beep. You walk back across that parking lot. Same one you crossed in the dark 12 hours ago. Except now it's light out, and your legs feel like they belong to someone else. You get in your car, and you sit there for a second before you turn it on. Just a second. Here's what you think about in that second. You think about how strange it is that millions of people order things on their phones and never once picture this: the building, the noise, the conveyor belts, the 2 a.m. alarm, the 2 p.m. wall. How a package that shows up at someone's door in 2 days passed through dozens of pairs of hands and miles of belts and 100 little decisions made by people who are exhausted and still showing up. You think about Diane and her dog grooming business. You think about the 19-year-old who's going to quit in November. You think about the guy reading audiobooks, 6 at a time, improving himself, 1 shelf at a time. You think about how hard the work is, and also how simple it is, and how those two things can both be true at once. You worked today. You actually worked. Not at a screen, not in a meeting. You moved things from one place to another, with your body, for 10 hours, so that someone somewhere could get what they ordered. That matters. It's not glamorous, and nobody's making a movie about it, but it matters. You start the car. Tomorrow, the alarm is set for 3:47.